During Karate Kid Part 1, which sees Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita playing those main roles in the film, we come up to the Cobra Kai students at the Cobra Kai dojo, and they are making Daniel's life hell. He's still bullying Daniel even now. So he goes to Mr. Miyagi and says, I want you to come to the dojo and tell them that, I'm training with you, basically. So John Kreese says, okay, I want you to leave the boy alone to train. I don't want you to bully him or hurt him or anything like that. So they do that. And when the tournament comes up, this was Daniel's opportunity to show what he could do against Johnny's friends. And he beats every single one of them until he gets, the other Cobra Kai student gets disqualified for doing an illegal kick on Daniel. And Mr. Miyagi heals Daniel with his hands and stuff, brings life into Daniel's feet as well, and arms and stuff, and he can do all the kicks again, which he could never do before. And he was doing like kicks and punches and stuff, and Johnny gets the better of him. But right at the end, you see on the front of this cover, this is the scene where Daniel's doing the crane kick on the beach. Well, he actually uses that in the movie, and everyone's saying that it was an illegal kick. Johnny won in the end, but really, Daniel was the real hero in the movie. He stood up to the Cobra Kai and he taught them a lesson. So after the first movie had finished, we saw Karate Kid Part 2, and this was a continuation from the first movie to the second movie, which sees the All Valley tournament again between Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence, going one-on-one against each other. Yes, Daniel came out on top as victor and champion of the All Valley tournament. So what happened next? Well, in the second movie, Daniel comes out and sees these two lads coming up to him and stuff, and they want Daniel's autograph. They're just heading over to the truck, and he sees John Kreese and the Cobra Kai's talking, and there's a huge argument between Johnny Lawrence and Sensei John Kreese. It's like, well, you lost, you're a loser and stuff like that. First place is not second place, you're off the team. So he's still talking to like John Kreese and stuff, and John Kreese attacks him, breaks his trophy, because the guys, put in all that hard work to come second place on the tournament and stuff, and with the Cobra Kais and stuff. Bobby's doing nothing, he's just standing there, and the other two are trying to help Johnny and save him. But basically, who saves the day in the end? Mr. Miyagi says, leave boy alone, let him go. Miyagi's standing there. John Kreese is trying to hurt Mr. Miyagi, but Miyagi is way too clever for John Kreese, and his hand goes straight through the window of the car, and that's the last that we see of John Kreese until Miyagi gets a phone call from his father in Okinawa. So Mr. Miyagi has to go over there straight away and get a plane over to Okinawa to see his father, who is the same guy who taught Mr. Miyagi karate and fishing as well. This is where Daniel gets all of his teaching from Miyagi, who passed his karate from his father to him as well. So when he's in Okinawa, he meets up with his old friend and nemesis, Sato, and he's trying to get revenge on Miyagi for leaving. He wished at the time he would have took his girlfriend to the States and stuff, so that he could live with her. And this was the first time that Daniel LaRusso had met, Miss Miyagi's sweetheart and stuff. So Chosen's in it. Chosen is Sato's formal student, who goes up against Daniel LaRusso in part 2 of the Karate Kid. And yeah, there's another fight in this movie, but it's not a fight that you would see in a tournament, not from the first movie, but in the second movie they're fighting in Okinawa. They put on this huge festival in the second movie, and Daniel LaRusso tries to use the crane kick again. It doesn't work this time, but it did work in the first movie, and he beats Chosen, and then goes back home, where we see the old apartment get demolished, and Miyagi goes back to his old apartment, where he used to do all the bonsai trees and stuff. So Miyagi remembers that, teaching Daniel to cut the trees and stuff. And in the third movie, it's a continuation into the saga of Karate Kid Part 1, Part 2 and Part 3. And this time in Part 3, Daniel opens up a new bonsai store for Mr. Miyagi. So he's left college, he's passed all of his exams and stuff. He's opened the new shop up for Miyagi, and he goes over to this this shop where this lady's doing all the pots and stuff, and she comes over to the new bonsai shop and stuff, meets Miyagi and stuff, and this is when we see the new bad boy come into it, Mike Barnes, with Snake and one of the other guys, and he confronts Daniel LaRusso and says, I heard that you won in the All Valley tournament. I would like you to sign the contract, and I would like to have your championship. So Daniel goes to Mr. Miyagi and says, Mike Barnes is bullying me. I want you to train me. And he said, for tournament, I can't do that. I can't train you because, something could happen. You could use what I teach you in, but it would probably backfire on you, and you'll probably use the crane kick and it won't work. So Terry Silver, John Kreese plot revenge against Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Miyagi for hurting, Sensei John Kreese. Sensei John Kreese has lost all his Cobra Kai students. Johnny Lawrence has left and stuff. All his mates have left. And Mike Barnes also is working with Terry Silver. They're training Mike Barnes ready for this tournament against Daniel LaRusso. So what does Daniel LaRusso do in the movie? Well, he listens to Mr. Miyagi, who is his teacher, and instead of using the normal karate moves that he used in the first movie, the second movie, he uses kata, which is like a form of kata, I think it is, and he uses that against Mike Barnes and throws him over the top and beats him. And this is when we saw something happen on YouTube. And it wasn't going back to the old films, it was something that was going to surprise the fans. I saw a remake of The Karate Kid. This wasn't just the normal Karate Kid movies that we used to watch. Yes, it was going to have the normal actors in it, but they were going to basically come up with a different name. So this one was going to be called Cobra Kai. And Cobra Kai was going to be a continuation of the original Karate Kid movies. So we're talking about the ones in 1984, and we were going to see Ralph Macchio reprising his role again as Daniel LaRusso. We was going to see Johnny Lawrence and Daniel's mum come into it as well in season 1. And everybody thought at the time that, being that it was going to be a show, that it might not be a huge hit, but everyone was wrong. It turned out that the show did really well, and they've given it a green light, and now we're going to get a season 2. But I'm not going to spoil anything for you, because you need to watch season 1 first to find out who turns up at the end of the very last episode, season 1, episode 10. One of the familiar faces turns up at the end, and it is really, exciting to see what's going to happen in season 2. I know that from watching the tournament and hearing some familiar faces come into it, I think it's going to be really exciting. I can't wait till the new one comes out. Well, anyway, that was a review on the Karate Kid movies. I am Chriswiiu2013. Chriswiiu2013 does quite a lot of DVD reviews and unboxings on different films, really. So if you found this video really interesting and you want more, please let me know in the comments below. Remember to hit that subscribe button, and thanks again for watching. I hope to do more of these videos really soon, and I'm heading off right now, and I'll speak to you again next time. Bye.